What up, yo? I already made one video today. I'm about maybe do another. They say a fucking tornado might be headed this way. uh, Hopefully don't blow my fucking house down. Knock on fucking wood, goddammit. Uh, uh, but yeah, this episode, man, or particular dialogue, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like I said, I'm still working this shit out, working everything out, working life out. But I'm doing it on film for y'all. So, hey, enjoy that shit. No, I'm just, but no, man, today I want to talk about a damn subject. Uh, I think interests a lot of motherfuckers. I think a lot of motherfuckers don't understand to the fullest extent. Um, when it comes to gangbanging, when it comes to fucking almost every one of us that joins a gang, and some motherfuckers might get mad at me for comparing these, but or military or a fucking biker club or any goddamn thing really, you know what I mean? But especially the gangs and the fucking, and even I think even a lot of motherfuckers that choose to go off to war, you know what I mean? They're all, I think a majority of us, not all of us, I can't speak for everybody, but a majority of us, man, we're lost souls, bro. We're motherfuckers without a family that want family. Whether we realize it or not, you know what I mean? It just, we might think we're attracted to shit for any number of other reasons. But in the end of the motherfucking day, at the end of the day, I think we're looking for fucking brotherhood. We're looking for fucking a unit, a family, something to belong to, something to be part of. So don't judge motherfuckers for being in fucking gangs if you don't understand where the fuck they're coming from, man. I got out of that shit. I told my homies, hey, you got me until I leave this bitch. I come into the game late, man. They had to convince me because they wanted me to step in for a lot of the youngsters and try to fucking teach them and inspire them, man. And I told them, I said, you got me till the end of this bit. If I choose to walk out of this motherfucker, or God permit, I can, because at that point I was so wild and I didn't give a fuck. And I really, when I go in, I go in. So like, I'm like, man, if I'm gonna do this, I've done duck being part of a fucking gang for so many years. Uh, you know, for me to fucking go in now would be retarded unless like I was planning on doing this shit. So, and that's what it was. I told him, motherfucker, you got every bit of me, man, until I leave. And then once I leave, though, if I get out this bitch, I'm doing something different. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna fucking try to live and do something different. I told him, I said, I'll stab motherfucker, do anything you want, but you better get it out now, because when I'm done, I'm done. And the motherfuckers were cool with that, man. Some motherfuckers might not like it. I don't give a fuck, but that's the agreement I made with the motherfuckers that brought me in, period. And other than that, I'm not a big group type motherfucker, man. Everybody just wants something to fucking belong to. When I was a kid, I was attracted to fucking gangs. I'm over there, I'm in Davenport, Iowa, but I'm by Rock Island, Moline, East Moline. We ain't got Chicago too far away. There's a lot of black guys, a lot of Mexicans. There's, a hodgepodge of fucking everybody. And, but the gangs mostly belong to the other motherfuckers, to the black cats, to the Mexicans. And, so that's the shit that I looked up to, but I was never one to just jump into some shit. So like, well, I can't say I was never one to just jump, but like that, you know what I mean? I don't trust people. All the shit I've been through, I just ain't got much trust. So I wanted that family fucking unit. I wanted to belong to something and have a motherfucker accept me, but I was cautious, to say the fucking least, man, because I've been let down by so many motherfuckers in life, and fucking, I wanted this one to count. whatever one it was. You know what I mean? So, like I said, first I looked up to the gangs and shit, but I wasn't one to jump into that type of shit then. So, but I would hang out and try to figure these motherfuckers out and see if they was what I was looking for. And a lot of times, what I would see, I went and seen, you know, for all the white guys that did get brought into this shit or was claiming it, whether they were really respected or not, uh, I got to see how they was treated, by kind of just hanging around. And some of these motherfuckers was little riders, man. They was like me. They was somebody looking for somewhere to fucking be, somewhere to belong, man. And they was willing to fucking ride for it. And they wasn't respected like that though. And I seen it from a majority of, the black cats, Mexican cat, whatever fucking gangs they was in or trying to be in. I seen it. I seen they were just a means to an ends. They were a tool. They were either getting them for fucking money. They was, you know what I mean, or using them to send them on missions and shit like that, or to go hustle their shit out or whatever. And then the joint fucking, uh, you see them motherfuckers and they really get used up in there. Uh, I mean, a lot of the ones, even the ones that are supposedly accepted out here, a lot of times, I mean, it differs from state to state, but a lot of times in there, they ain't even accepted by the motherfuckers. But they don't want to let a resource go. So if I can act like, I got you, motherfucker, and then use you for everything you got, then why not? You know what I mean? So that's the shit that I seen. That's the shit that made me, I was attracted to gang life, but it was a majority of these minorities, which I didn't have no problem riding with, but I wasn't seeing a lot of respect from the other side. So that's what kept me from that route. Then, I wasn't racist. I got a lot of some of my best friends when I was a kid was black. And, see, I have, yeah, and Mexicans all down on the fucking corner. That's why I hung out in the neighborhood was Mexicans at school was black guys. I mean, I don't know. I got along with them motherfuckers. It just, so anyway, and I got mixed cousins and all that shit who I love and shit. And so yeah, I was never racist. I just didn't see a whole lot of love from that other fucking side. So I was conscious of that. Then I go to Idaho, which I've told you in past videos. I go stay with my aunt. My grandparents couldn't handle me. So I'm out there with her for a little while. I'm running away and shit. When I do get back out or cops bring me back, shit like that, she'd tell me to just leave and shit. So, which was fucking fine, cause I was on the streets, I was having fun, I was hanging out all day, I wasn't going to school no more, none of that shit, and I was fucking young. So, I mean, it got rough sometimes, sleeping on fucking roofs and fucking. They had this. It's Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. They had this little cave. Like they had this fucking. It was called. Was it Tubbs Hill or some shit like that? It's a bunch of trails and stuff, and there's cliffs that outlook over the water. and and fucking, it was beautiful. But if you go down on these trails that go down into the rocks, off, hanging off the water and shit. You find all kinds of shit. I found a little cave, man. I slept in that motherfucker a couple times. And I think that was before I discovered the one bank that had a roof that was shaped a certain way. I can't believe they didn't have alarms up there. And I would sleep up under a fucking ledge up there. But anyway, I'm on the fucking street. So downtown at night, this was a cool little town, man. It wasn't a lot to fucking do, but it seemed like every summer all the kids would go down and there was a strip. I used to know the name of it, Sherman maybe, or I can't remember anymore. It's been so long. But all the cars would just drive up and down the street, and all these packs of kids. And it was in categories. You had like the fucking, little wannabe motherfuckers. They'd be over here because this town there wasn't no there wasn't no black motherfuckers over here. I'll tell you that right now, none. Like I think I seen one the whole time I was in that fucking town. You had a lot of natives and white boys. That was pretty much it. I don't think I seen a lot of Mexicans either. I know there's a lot of them in Idaho, Mexicans, because when I got locked up as a juvenile, there was a bunch in there with me, and some of them was some of my good friends. But anyway, uh, so yeah, and there was just groups, and then there you had the skaters, the freaks, like everybody hung out in a different little spot and shit. My spot I was attracted to immediately was Java Coffee Shop. Coffee Shop. These I don't know where these fucking little weird. I think these are past lives, man, past personalities, like slipping in every now and get Canadian fucking accent every now and then. Now it seemed like I just had some fucking New York shit or something slip in there, fucking. But anyway, oh fucking see Looney Tunes, man. Yeah, I never did tell you guys the second part of that fucking. God damn it, I don't want to keep getting astray. But Looney, like I said, happened in that juvenile camp. Then I went to the joint. I thought I left it there and went to the joint. Motherfucker started calling me again later on down the road. I was whooping a motherfucker, and this Mexican friend of mine, I guess noticed. He said I was like humming and almost like low tune singing, humming while I was whooping this motherfucker. Sometimes I'll yell at you and tell you what you did wrong. Other times I'll like, I never knew I hummed, I guess, but so this motherfucker told me that. He said I was like humming and doing music. Fuck, I don't fucking know. It's weird. But he started calling me Looney Tunes because of that. And, and because I think I was one of the first Loonies I remember when I got there. And then years later, a few other ones came in. Um, and I was the only white boy fucking Looney, two Mexicans. And then, but so it helped to differentiate me because most loonies were just loonies, and this dude had thrown the tunes on there, and I sort of liked that. You know what I mean? I guess it was funny. I thought I fucking wish I could like hear myself. Uh, or not. I'm not violent no more. I'm trying not to be. Goddamn it. But yeah. Anyway, so I was just backtracking because I kept meaning to say that in past videos or something, and I never fucking got that second part of it out there. But anyhow, so I'm in Idaho. I'm on the streets. Like I said, it's cool though. Downtown, man, motherfuckers hang out. It's like looks like a fucking bar scene, like a bar stretch, but it ain't. It's fucking teens and kids and anybody that can get out. Uh, so I was drawn to this coffee shop, and in this coffee shop, all the freaks and the skaters, they had punk rockers. They're big punk rocker motherfuckers. And the more I listened to that music, I was really trying to find myself on music. I always liked a little bit of everything. But yeah, some of the punk, I can't say I love the sound so much, but I love the fact that like all that old school punk, Exploited Misfits, Dead Kennedys, Rancid, shit like that. They was talking about fuck the government, fuck the authority. Ain't nobody gonna tell me shit, and that's how I was feeling at this point. Ain't nobody ever really had me. Ain't nobody had my fucking back. I'm my own parent now. I'm out here doing my own thing because I went from my grandparents, which them motherfuckers didn't let me go nowhere but out in the front of the street. Occasionally to a fucking friend's house. Like, I was pretty fucking sheltered for the couple years I was there. Why I started running away and having issues with them. Why they sent me to Idaho. And so anyway, I'm on the fucking streets in Idaho, and you got a bunch of runaway kids and shit. So it's like you always got somebody to hang out, and there's you'll end up at this party house or that party. Even as a kid, I'd lie about my fucking age. See, I was a little older, and motherfuckers accepted me being there, but I was always getting thrown out of spots, so I had to get creative and find other spots. But anyway, at this coffee shop I hung out at, and what I liked about that punk rock, like I said, is just anti-government, anti-authority. And that's where I was at the fucking time. You know what I mean? That's where I was right here. I was like, fucking, this is me. Fuck the government. Fuck what's supposed to be standard. And I went through trying to color my hair and shit like that. And I never found any hairstyle that I ever fucking agreed with. So eventually I just shaved that shit off. Now I got a receding hairline, and yeah, I definitely want it to stay on. But I don't know, I just wasn't a hair motherfucker. But this come about by accident, and then I liked it. I was like, huh, that's the one way. I mean, I cut it off because it was fucked up. I had like a fucking colored mohawk, fucking something going on that I didn't feel good about, so I shaved that bitch off. And I was like, huh, I kind of dig this. So it's been that ever fucking since. Uh, but, you know, you look like a skinhead. Well, I ended up fucking being one for a little while. I claimed it independent. I never was racist, like I said, but you know, in the system when you get locked up and all that shit, uh, it's not really about racism. It's everything is divided, uh, and everybody's just trying to have somebody else's back for a different fucking reason. And over the years, I mean, that is just a product of what it used to be, I guess. Um, and it fucking kind of stuck around and shit. But you know, most motherfuckers when they get in gangs, uh, you know, even fucking, you know, different skinheads and Aryan brothers and all that old fucking shit, Aryan nations and all that, they do the shit out of necessity because there's next to none of them, so they try to find motherfuckers that like will ride and die with them, and they go fucking hard, man, because you know they have to, and they survive, and through that they grow this fucking bond, man, and that's what the fuck we've been looking for the whole time. You know what I mean? And and sometimes you don't find it though. And then or sometimes it started out that way and then that is the case with most of these gangs as they grow so fucking big and then there's so many conflicts interwoven and there's so many people end up being snitches and then motherfuckers breaking off into different branches and shit because of little beefs and uh everybody wanting to be the head, so breaking off different sections, you know, because they're beefing with each other, but they still, you know, this is my shit too, and bullshit. But and that's what the gang shit, you know, really fucking is and ends up fucking being, and it's not. Most of the time, it's not a real family. It starts out that way, and that shit is beautiful. And then once it gets too crazy, it's just. But I don't recommend it. Uh, Most of my life I've been independent, you know, and that's the thing. Claiming an independent skinhead in there, it still kept you in the community. Motherfuckers had your back and so on and so forth. Especially when they knew you would ride and they'd call on you, but they'd have you too. So that's sort of the moniker I took. But my thing was like, you know, I already said I ain't racist, but at the same fucking time I was, you know, just showing motherfuckers, look, I'm a fucking proud fucking white boy though, and you ain't gonna demean me because of that, and you ain't gonna fucking victimize me because of that, and especially just because I ain't with these other fucking white gangs that are gonna fucking back me, but I'm not riding with no fucking black gangs that don't respect me or no fucking Mexican, you know what I'm saying? So, but it kept me part of the community. They still had my baggage, like you know what I mean, enough to where it was what it was. Years later, the shit out of my neighborhood which came from me and one of my buddies being in fucking Eldora together, and we seen that shit. We seen all these good little rider ass fucking die little white boys from fucking Downport that would come in there and they'd be claiming fucking gangs and yeah, black gangs and stuff like that, and these motherfuckers would not respect none of the white boys from anywhere else. None of the fucking half the black dudes didn't fucking everybody else. So and they'd become fucking victims and preyed upon and shit like that, man, and it was fucked up because they were little soldiers. They were just looking for something to fight. And motherfuckers didn't respect them enough to utilize that and turn that into a real brotherhood and partnership. You know what I mean? And they got, you know, shit out. That's my little neighborhood shit. That's how it come about was, you know, watching this shit go down and we're like, look, let's give them something by us for us. Fuck all this fucking other gang shit that ain't for us. And it wasn't no racist shit. It was just the fucking you know what I mean, for that purpose. But then I got out, man, and he got out first, got it going. I get out, I seen what they were doing. They're running around tagging shit and fucking just stupid shit, man. That like, no disrespect to them, they know who they are, and I love them, man. Still to this day, they're good brothers. But uh, it just wasn't a vision I had. It didn't feel right yet. You know what I mean? I go with my motherfucking heart, and uh, I think I came in when I was supposed to come in, which was years later. And the thing is, people are always trying to recruit me. What I swerved off from when I was in Idaho, that coffee shop that I would hang out at and shit, there was also Aryan Brotherhood. I mean, no, Aryan Nation, from God damn it, is it Spirit Lake, Idaho, or somewhere right over there in that area, right by where I was. I was Coeur d'Alene. Uh, and there was a compound there of Aryan Nation. It was a big compound. It was ran by some old guy named Reverend Butler. And who was talking about adopting me and shit. I went out there and met him and shit a couple times. And, well, because, all right, this is what we got to get to. So I got the punk rocks and all these motherfuckers. All of a sudden, these three fucking Aryan Nation dudes start showing up. And they got full uniform, these fucking, like, red suspenders and black pants and combat boots and fucking. They sort of made an impression on me, man. Like, everybody sort of back, because this is the 90s. And the culture and shit was starting to change. And over there, Coeur d'Alene is right next to Spokane, Washington, man. And it was over there. It's a different scene and shit. So all that shit was starting to bleed together a little bit. But it didn't matter. These motherfuckers got respect now. There'd always be fights. There'd always be somebody speaking up against them and shit. And, that's sort of what they came into town for. Because I guess they weren't. And that place was pretty strict. You weren't supposed to, like, use drugs or drink or none of that shit. You're supposed to keep your body pure. And one of the reasons I never joined them, too, was I've always been trying to find myself spiritually. But, Christianity has never... I know a lot about history, and it's never, like, sat right with me. I don't knock anybody else. I think there's a lot of knowledge and wisdom in it. And there's things I get out of it for sure. But it's like Buddha said, man. Buddha said, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to the effect of everybody is at a different cycle of learning, man. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, all that shit, and literally all that. So, it's the same thing with fucking religion. You got all these different churches, these different religions, and these different philosophies for a reason, because the same way this one teacher over here might be a great teacher and gets through to a mass majority of their kids, there's still like maybe 3 or 4 kids or more in every class, depending on how big the school is, that get absolutely nothing from them. Their brains don't interpret the way these people teach. Now, this other fucking teacher, if he just happens to fucking cross this kid's path and understands it, because his brain works a little bit different too, but he was able to succeed with that way of thinking, but he recognizes that way of learning through this kid and says, hey, this is what you need to do. This is how I got through it. You know what I mean? Fucking, same way Bert Krishner and shit be talking about, when he thinks of shit like maps, or, you know what I mean? Fucking, he didn't realize for years he could remember shit until he figured out a different way that he remembered shit. And that's the same for other people. We all learn different, motherfucker. Different drugs affect everybody different. All our brains are fucking wired a little bit different, man. It's starting to rain shit. I don't know if there's tornadoes coming. Hey, share the experience, baby. Gosh. So, damn it, what the hell was I getting to? Let me pause real quick while I remember, and then we'll regroup, because I smoke weed. So, yeah, for them, that little small section of kids that one teacher's that motherfucker. So it's the same thing with religions. It's the same thing with fucking gangs. Any of that shit. It's what you are, where you're meant to be at that point in time in your motherfucking life, I believe. And even if you could have took a better path or a different path or whatever may be the fucking case, you didn't. So accept your shit. You know what I mean? And and learn your truth, learn your lesson of that moment. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. It's all about journeys, man. None of that shit, other shit defines us. They're all titles and bullshit. It's all there to create separation by the fucking government, man. They create these classes. They make us focus on fucking race. They fucking love the fucking gangs. They love anything that divides because divided, we're so much easier to fucking conquer, man. They want us divided, son. That's a fact, Jack. But anyway, and we fall into it from time to time. That shit does not fucking define us. You know what I'm saying? But learning from that shit and growing from that shit and becoming something better when it wasn't all that good sometimes, that's what the fuck it's about. So anyway, back to the goddamn story in my journey. Long story short, I meet these 3 fucking dudes that keep coming to town because you're not supposed to party on the compound. So they come into town to party and fight and all that shit and get it out of their system. And Reverend Butler understood that they needed to do that. So he'd let them go into town and whatever. So anyway, didn't encourage it, but so I meet these guys and I go through some shit. I had a guy fucking. I had a coat that I stole, but it was mine fair and square. I was on the streets. I was a kid. It was a nice leather jacket. I think got it out of the car or something. And I love that fucking jacket. And this bigger dude, I think he was fucking like 19 or something. And I'm like a fucking preteen or whatever at the fucking time, man. So he takes my goddamn coat and these fucking skinhead dudes, Aryans, whatever, fucking, they see the shit happen, whatever, and they know I'm like salty about it, and they're like, look, man, go fight the motherfucker over it. And I was like, you know what I mean? I hadn't really been taught too much how to fight yet. I learned all that shit over the years. But and had my ass whooped a couple times learning, but hey, I've whooped some motherfuckers too, boy. But it ain't about that. It is to the point of standing on your shit and learning your shit and fighting your journey and going through your journey and discovering who you are and shit. And that way, it is necessary, man. Fucking swords are forged in fire, motherfucker. You know what I mean? If we go through the fire, that's what suffering and all the strife and all that shit is. All I'm saying is don't judge a book by a cover just because motherfuckers claim shit, even racist shit. A lot of times it's not who they are. They're just trying to find a fucking identity. They've been shunned by everybody else and they're just looking for their fucking place, man. I don't know how the fuck I got to there, but these motherfuckers made me fight this dude for my coat and shit. And they made me go back in. I got whooped like 3 more times. I kept getting whooped and kept being like, okay. And he kept trying to quit because he felt like something was coming too. And they kept saying, no, go again. So they must have made me go back. I went back at least 3 times, if not more, and kept getting lumped up. This dude was huge. He was fucking way older than me. And, but they kept telling me, go back in one more time and we're going to make him give you back your shit. So I was like, fuck it. So I kept going in, even though I was getting my ass beat, but I've been whooped before. Parents, fucking dads and different shit, man. But back on focus, motherfucker, I smoke. So all that sometimes too is me trying to like shake myself back into focus. It ain't just schizophrenia or like I'm not schizophrenic, and my heart goes out to them motherfuckers because I've been around a few that I had love for. But anyway, let's stop getting off track, please. So, yeah, again, trying to get back into focus. So yeah, anyway, long story short, after like 3rd, 4th, 5th time, whatever, one more time. That's it. I'm like, all right. So I go in there, hit the dude. I think he gets a couple licks up. At this point, he knows something's up. And no sooner than that, one of the younger of the three comes in there, but he's a big fucking boy. He comes in there and just boom, plows old boy. He's out and snoring. He takes dude's coat off and gives it to me, and I'm like, thank you, bro. And these guys, they kind of looked out for me. And what was fucking weird is Idaho. It's like a 3-day drive from fucking Iowa. It's a ways away, man. So it's fucking weird. It just so happened that these three motherfuckers were from Iowa, and I don't know how they got into the area and shit. They probably somebody they met had passed them some literature, or who knows? I don't know. But and they were, three motherfuckers that found each other. They's from Sioux City, Iowa, and I'm from Downpour. I'm on the other side of Iowa, but it's still Iowa. It's still crazy. But they had found each other and then went out there, trying to find themselves even more. And man, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, if you hurt a bunch of people in the process, that's one thing. These motherfuckers weren't hurting nobody. They was just out there training and finding brotherhood and unity through each other. And it is what it is, man. I get that part of it too, to a certain extent. But long story short, I didn't join that. This is just my journey through all the gang shit. You know what I mean? And then I told you all the other shit. I get locked up a couple times. You know what I mean? The crew starts with me and my dude and Eldora fucking talking, seeing what's happening. These good little warriors wanting to give them something for them, by them to fight for and all that shit. I wasn't down with that right away. They just wasn't pushing the way I wanted to push at the time, or I don't know, something just didn't feel right at the time. Years later, motherfucker talked me into coming in, and I felt like I had shit to pass down to these kids. If they was gonna be in that life, I was gonna teach them how to live it as good as they could, and that's what I did. That was, my extent. Now, I got tattoos all over me and shit. I told you I was, I claimed independent skin in there. It kept me in the game, you know what I mean, and semi fucking protected. I had to put in work and shit too, without all the way having to be a part of these people's shit, which meant I didn't have to really go through no channels when I did nothing. I didn't have nobody above me, so if I want to go whoop some motherfucker from like some outside shit or something like that, or anything, even another white guy, I'd just do it. Wouldn't ask permission for nobody, especially a little ways in, man, because it just, I don't know, I just got so sick of that shit. And I wouldn't. I'd do what the fuck I wanted. And then motherfuckers would pull me up, and sometimes they'd be salty about it, and they'd have me fight one of their guys or something like that to fucking make everybody feel better, I guess. We ain't too happy about this, so go in there and do a one-on-one with my dude, and then sometimes it wouldn't turn, hey, you get jumped, all kinds of other shit, man. Just, it is what it is. I break that shit down periodically, so follow all my stories, man. But yeah, so this is the thing, when you're independent skin, so you're not really in a group, and so you have to go hard, you have to do shit a little bit more, so if I'm gonna do shit, I go all out, man. So I'm not gonna hide from me. I got rebel flags, swastika in the middle of it instead of fucking all the stars. One of the stars replaced by a swastika. Now this is the thing, I'm not into fucking Hitler. I'm not no fucking racist. The goddamn swastika doesn't come from there. It doesn't. It's from the fucking Vikings, from the Norse. It's the symbol of the sun. It's two Sowilo runes put together. There was nothing racist fucking about it. Hitler took some shit and fucking, fuck that cocksucker, dog. He destroyed a lot of good cultural fucking history and shit, man, and symbols that symbolized the sun and power. And they were like, come from our native roots, a lot of us, man, European motherfuckers. So, it was a symbol I fucking identified with, but not in that way. I'm into the runes, the Elder Futhark. But one of the reasons I got it on me, one, was to put it out there like, motherfucker, yeah, I want beef. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers would come at me and they would fight me. And then, as time went by, whether I got whooped or I whooped a motherfucker, I had respect. Like, people wouldn't fuck with me because they knew they were going to get a fight one way or the other. And part of that is putting that shit out there like, yeah, I'm ready to fight. I'm willing to go. It's like putting on a fucking uniform. and telling them I'm ready to go out there and go to war, whether you are or not. You'll find out. You stay in the fire long enough, baby. And I was addicted to that shit. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I'm cautious when I need to be, though. I always have been. So, but yeah. Anyway, and then yeah, the fucking rebel flag. I ain't from down south. So I'm not repping it on that tip. I'm not fucking pro fucking slavery fuck night. Even though every motherfucker in every culture across the fucking world at one point in time has been fucking slaves, man. We have. We used to fucking all throughout Europe, it'd be warring cultures and tribes and shit. And we'd take motherfuckers hostage and we'd make them our slaves. And then if we respected them and come to love them enough, we'd give them their freedom and so on and so forth. We'd just quit doing that to our people, start grabbing other motherfuckers and doing that shit. You know what I mean? Which makes sense. It's not right, but it makes sense. And yeah, you're going to progress and get better as time goes. You know what I mean? As human beings, period. We learn along the fucking way. But that shit was everywhere back then, man. Every one of us has gone through it. I'm not downplaying anybody's struggle. But that being said, that's not what the fuck that shit means to me. I'm not from down south. I don't believe in slavery. The fucking rebel flag that shit doesn't mean that to me because, my thing is this. If you look at the war, if you studied the fucking war, there was, I can't say just as many, but there was a hell of a lot of black people fighting on the motherfucking, on the Confederate side too. So, but the reason for that was, obviously wasn't because they were promoting fucking slavery, and you ain't gonna convince me that they're stupid enough to fucking, really just be that brainwashed where they're just that loyal to these, no, fuck no. But they understood, and some of them motherfuckers was good to them. You know what I mean? It's still a fucked up situation, but I'm just saying so they didn't hate them, so there might have been that. But I think for the fucking most part, they understood that, look, because around that time period, motherfuckers are already talking about freeing slaves and shit. There's already a lot of motherfuckers that been putting that out there. So all these motherfuckers, I would think, you know, would be thinking that, yeah, we're getting ready to fucking get out of slavery soon. Whether we fucking go to war over the shit or not, we're getting ready to get out of this shit soon. But what they also understood, because they're not no fucking idiots, is, yeah, okay, we get out of slavery, but now the state's coming in, and they're telling us more shit we can't do, even as a state, so we become free, but this state becomes more of a fucking slave in doing so. You know what I mean? So, they're like, I think the ones that fought on that other side, they understood that shit. That, look, this is the government getting a foothold. It wasn't about slavery to half them motherfucking soldiers that died over there, man. It was about their fucking independence. It was about the government telling them what they could and couldn't fucking have, and you ain't gonna just take this shit away. We can talk it out and figure this shit out, but you're not gonna just come in and take shit. Because that's not how that government was set up. It's supposed to be state by state. You pretty much ran your own shit. You just consulted back and fucking forth on shit and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And had a main motherfucker at the top calling shit and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, we all know how the fuck politics goes or went and where it's gone from there and fucking. But, so anyway, so this is what I'm saying. Fuck Hitler. To me, he didn't demonize the goddamn swastika. Swastika is two Sowilo fucking runes, man. That come from Odin, that come from an old Norse religion that wasn't racist. They were a warrior, powerful fucking people. And if you have that in your fucking blood and your background, motherfucker, then fucking rep that shit. Don't fucking. So that's. And then the fucking flag. That flag to me symbolizes a motherfucker telling the government, look, dog, we can work together. We're going to try to fucking. But as a state, we've already agreed that we got the most say, so you're not going to just come in and we talk it out, but you ain't. But they weren't trying to talk because it wasn't about that. It was about them getting that first step forward. The government getting that fucking chokehold, man. And we see it more and more all the time now. All the fucking time. And I don't know that we can really come back from that shit at this point, honestly. But that's what them mean to me. That's the only reason I ain't got it covered up. Because in there, yeah, it's, you know what I mean? Oh, this shit's, I didn't expect to fucking come out here, folks. I thought I was going to stay in there and just fucking go all in. Go the Fed system and really go in. And then die in a fucking hole somewhere, get killed, and just, you know, but that was my saga. I went hard. That's, you know what I mean? Stupid sort of sounded, but hey, it's who I was, man. And, so yeah, in there and out here, it means two different things. In there, like, I fucked with a lot of black people. I hustled with motherfuckers and shit. And, but they knew where I stood. And it wasn't fucking about racism. It's just, he's over here with these motherfuckers. I'm over here with mine. They're over there with theirs. It's just how to fuck it. And then everybody's protected. Also, at the end of the fucking day, when shit goes down, to prevent a goddamn war and a riot and everybody being locked down, we all come together. Because it's divided like that, we come together and we discuss the shit. When we have issues, hey man, this happened. This pissed that dude off. How can we rectify this? A one-on-one or whatever, and then the shit will be done and it'll be squashed, and it actually creates more peace in that motherfucker, honestly. It does. Without that, it's a mess. And that shit is going away, though. It is. Some of the best motherfuckers I ever met in there, man. There's solid fucking word bond, fucking convict motherfuckers. But nowadays, even in there, motherfuckers sending kites and fucking, and they split you up and they consider you a huge fucking security threat and they send you off and now it's just a fucking mess. And it's always the next youngster stepping up that he's still wanting to ride and make his name. And they done sent all the fucking heads out. And it's getting bad. But, anyway, that's my perspective and all that shit. So when you see motherfuckers come out, we was all in. So, you know, logical thing, I got kids, I'm out here now, let's get it covered up. I can't. Because them symbols mean something else to me. And I stand on that part of it, man. I love every fucking buddy. I do. Other than motherfuckers trying to stand on other motherfuckers' necks for no motherfucking good reason. I don't like motherfuckers like that, and that's what the fucking government's looking like. But what the fuck am I gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Other than try to help get motherfuckers aware and all that. Crazy cats running around here in the background. But man, you have to find unity here. Family here. A home here. Family here. A home here. Then extend it. And eventually you'll draw in the right motherfuckers, man. I've tried to find that unity out here that I had in there with a lot of motherfuckers, man. And it's been hard. And people are always letting me down. And it makes it harder. And I'm sure I've let some people down in other ways. I ain't always perfect. But I'm not fucking sitting down. I ain't stopping, baby. My fight ain't over. My struggle ain't over. I got babies moving on up. Same thing with y'all, man. But hey, together we are strong, motherfuckers. We're strong. Divided, we're easy to fucking conquer. So help thy neighbor. Get back to the community. Fuck these fucking screens. Yeah, use them, but use them in moderation, man. Use this entertainment in moderation or for this, purposes like this, to get you geeked up, to get you out there living your life, to get you being part of your community. If we all got together, man, down here at the bottom where we're fucking struggling and pooled our skills together on the fucking kitchen table, you got this skill, I got this skill, I got that skill. I can provide this, I can do that, and we work together. And yeah, if you need money, I got you on that. But you help me with this, and I don't know how to do that. But hey, I'm a strong motherfucker from a fucking arm. So I'll go help you move, or help your mom move, or fucking whatever. You just return shit like that. I'm a good cook. You give a motherfucker provide a dinner for them so they don't have to go out or spend a bunch of money at a restaurant. Give motherfuckers food from your garden and then they throw you something back when they got anything. You know what I'm saying? Fucking a compliment, a smile, fucking whatever. That's how we build. That's how we become one. Our fucking egos and our conscience separate us from shit, man. It's the only thing that separates us. Everything is interconnected. We're all atoms. We're all energy. We're all at just a different level of vibration, man. But do you really want to vibrate at one level? Sound boring to me. So every now and then, hey, I want to fucking tune in to somebody else's vibration for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just tune in. A little vibration. Motherfucker. Music. The music of life. Of energy. Come together. Right now. Is that over me or under me? Well, I don't like it. I like that first part. Love you guys. Till next time. Peace.